Joining me is Minister Ghani, Plantation and Commodities Minister, Malaysia. Thank you very much for joining us on India Today Group. I'm going to start off by asking you, how is your India trip going and what have been the key contours of discussion?
It's a fantastic for me to come here, and I meet a lot of industry players, especially for those who buy a lot of our palm oil. And India is an important market for Malaysia. In fact, we export in 2023 3 million metric ton. India export 9.7 million metric ton of palm oil. Out of that, 3 million come from us. Certainly, we value India, and at the same time, India also is important for us as a trade partners. We buy a lot of things also from India. There's so many things. Maybe it's not that significant as how you look at palm oil, because we are second largest producer of palm oil, right? And our population is small. 80% of what we produce, we export.
Okay, you've had a key important meeting in India. You've met a couple of corporates. You've had a meeting with the agricultural minister. What were the key discussions? Were there something discussed on the existing comprehensive economic trade agreement between both the countries?
So at this moment, I think there's no specific thing that we have. But what we need to do, what I already told them, that we are willing to look into this detail, especially in respect of food security. Yeah? It's very important, because the world now, the most important thing that we have to look at now is a food security. So I believe India have huge experience of managing food security, because with the population of 1.4 billion, certainly is something that we want to learn from India, how they manage the food security for this kind of numbers of people. And of course, I think the relationship that we have with India, something that we can also benefit. For example, you have excess of sugar, excess of onion, excess of rice, specialty rice like Basmati and so on. So it's very useful for us, because these are products that we don't produce in our country, but we need it badly.
So were there discussions on sugar and rice?
Yeah, we've discussed. And then, and at this moment, we don't have any specific thing that we talk, but we know that it's important to have this relationship, because at this moment, every item that we want is available in the world.
Right, which means that there could be an opportunity in the future.
Yes.
Right. So for that, was there any kind of timeline discussed? When will you be meeting again?
So basically, our understanding with India is that we want to collaborate as much as what the private sector wants. Mm-hmm. Because India and us are almost the same platform, but the one that execute all this business relationship is basically on company to companies. Right? But if they have problems, they will raise this issue to us. That's where I will visit India and try to solve it. For example, today we have a lot of things that we find out that issues in respect of ports and so on. So we will take some of this input that we get from the stakeholders or industry players. We will then use this and try to facilitate so that we can do much more easier business with all the private sector in India.
Okay. Now, going by the data, you've just mentioned that about 14 million was your production export target for 2023. In comparison to that, what is your expectation for 2024 calendar year?
Then the world same, because we don't open up a new area, so it's same production figures.
Like that of 2023.
Same production figures, but we're embarking on replanting a lot of old trees. So hopefully next 2 to 3 years, you will be able to see a better yield that derive from Malaysia.
Yeah, the year didn't really start on an even note because of the global security issues and the geopolitical tensions, especially with the Red Sea crisis. Did that have a major impact on your order book as a country?
So at this moment, we are not. We saw that when it comes to food, the demand is always there. Everyone wants to make sure that they secure their food for their people. And this is where we need to build a relationship with any countries. They have an excess supply. For example, India have a lot of excess supply: sugar, onions, rice, and we have excess supply of palm oil. So this is something that we can share each other. But we want to make sure that there's enough supply for relationship of both countries.
Great. I'm going to end this interview by asking you, because you mentioned that rice and sugar are also on the list. When is your next visit to India, especially to discuss these?
Well, anytime, if we see there's issues, we can always come anytime.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ghani.
Thanks.